Hello, everyone, and welcome to Movie Mandates, the show where my sister and I force each other to watch movies according to a monthly theme. I'm Andrew.
I'm Kelly.
This month's monthly theme is kids. No, not that one. So I can't read my own writing. I mandated we watch Cop Car, a movie about kids who steal a cop car, directed by the guy who directed Spider-Man. No, not that one. Not that one either. But before I spend an hour insisting that 10-year-olds can't possibly be that stupid, and
Oh my
Kelly
God, oh my
assures me
God, oh
that,
my
oh, yes, they absolutely can,
God. Oh my
it's
God, oh
only
my God, oh
fair
my
that
God.
since I mandated today's movie, Kelly gets to challenge me in a segment we call Trivial Trivia.
Okay. So yes, I'm sure that you could see this coming miles away, brother. But today we are going to play 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
And I've chosen six of the most gorgeous actors that are acting today, because I'm not biased at all. I'm sure if you were given 10 guesses, you would get them all right. However, one noticeable omission because my one of them stars in a movie with Kevin Bacon, so I omitted him from the list because all of my connections go through
Like I
him
could,
anyway.
thanks to Cop Car, I can now name two movies that Kevin Bacon stars against the voice of Kira Sedgwick.
Yeah, what's the other one that you this
The other
against the
one is the
voice?
Guardians of the Galaxy
Oh, Christmas
Christmas
special?
special, where they're both playing themselves and he talks to her on the phone.
Oh, that's right. Yes, because that is his wife. So
Hmm.
there is that.
Which is how I learned that because he's on the phone with Kira, and I'm like, and I look at the credits, and it's Kira Sedgwick. I'm like, are they married? By
They've
gum,
only
they
been
are.
together forever.
Don't know.
Ever. Okay, so then let us start with the easiest. I've semi put them in order. Well, whatever. All right, so Idris.
Idris Elba.
Idris
Um,
Elba. And I did all of these too, just to make sure that I
could link him. Yeah.
could.
Terrible at these games. Let's see.
Yes. Yes, I do know that. But it's okay.
Is Idris Elba in any of the Marvel stuff?
Indeed, he is, which is why I'm
That would make this a
surprised.
lot easier because I can't remember what the hell he is in any of the Marvel stuff.
He's the dude with the sword that opens the Rainbow Road.
Oh, that's right. Heimdall.
Heimlich
I'm like, he's
maneuver.
in there somewhere. Where the hell is he? So, okay, so let's see.
That's why when you said Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, I'm like, well, then you'll get this
Yeah,
one right off the
because
bat.
Kevin Bacon is in a Marvel thing, that's going to really help me because everyone's in a Marvel thing. Um,
Yes, this is
let's
true.
see. So I guess Heimdall to Chris Evans in any of the Thor movies, Chris Evans to the other Chris, one of the other Chris's, Chris. Wait, not Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth,
Yes.
one of the other Chris's.
But
Uh,
Hemsworth does goes to Pratt.
yeah,
Yes.
Chris. Shit, Palm Farber Schnarmertimimim, who plays Mantis,
Heimlich.
whatever
Yes.
her name is. Any of the other actors in Guardians of the Galaxy who are in the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special with Kevin Bacon.
There you go. Excellent. All right. Uh Elijah
What is
Wood.
the Star-Lord Chris? What the hell? Chris?
Pratt.
Oh,
Chris
Pratt. Yeah, you're
Pratt.
right.
So you could just go Hemsworth to Pratt.
Yeah, Hemsworth to Elba to Hemsworth to Pratt to Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Um, which Chris plays Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman? Which Chris is that?
Pine.
Pine. Too many Chris's.
And Pine is also the one in Trek, Star Trek.
Oh, the new one. Yeah, I've not seen any of them.
Yeah.
Any of the new ones.
Yeah. He
I've seen the
plays Shatner's
old.
character.
I haven't seen any of the new shows either. I think the most recent
Ah,
Star Trek thing I've seen is like one
Deep
of
Space
the
Nine. No, I'm just kidding.
no, one of the later Next Generation films. I know I saw First Contact whole thing. I think I saw part of Insurrection or something like that. But yeah, I probably haven't seen much Star Trek in like over 20 years.
I don't know.
Whatever, I'm a Star Wars guy.
Yes, indeed. Okay, hiccup. Elijah Wood.
Oh, okay.
Don't go ew when you talk about Elijah
I said, ooh, okay.
Wood. Ooh, okay.
Um, Elijah Wood is
Hot.
not in any of the Marvel things yet that I can think of off the top of my head.
No, he's not.
He
But
damn well
he
should be.
is in Lord of the Rings.
That's
And there
right.
are a lot of people in that.
That's true. Um, is he in that movie with? No, that's a different movie. I'm thinking of the movie. What's her name? Who's in the? Because I'm thinking Elijah Wood was in that movie with the rabid children, where he was like a high school teacher and the kids became zombies or something like that.
Yes, Little Monsters. And yes, he was in that.
Little Monsters. There's another movie that's similar to that with the lady who's in Black Panther, but she in this movie she wears like a yellow dress and I can't. It's not the same movie though. I think it's a
Lupita
different.
Nyong'o, and he's yes, I think that's the
Is that the
same.
same movie? I think it's a different movie. I think it's a similar theme where she has to kill children because they go zombie or something, but
Is that the same
I
movie
think it's a
though?
different movie
Because I know exactly. I've seen them both.
because it's she's in her yellow dress on the
Yes,
poster,
and
right?
she takes them to a field trip
Yeah.
though. And is
We're
that
getting
the
old because now we're barely remembering.
same movie? It's
All right.
or is hers called Little Monsters?
Uh,
Those are different movies, aren't they?
I think so. Uh, no, she's in Little Monsters,
Okay.
which, yeah,
So
she's in
what's
Little
his called?
Monsters. What the hell is?
Then his might just be called Monst. No.
Da, 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 da. Uh, Gonna know it when I see it.
Yeah.
Gonna be in here somewhere. Yeah, why does he have to have such a prolific film library? Where
Oh, he's so talented. That's why.
Cooties. He's in
Cooties.
Cooties. She's in Little Monsters. Okay,
Okay.
so
Yes.
now that we did that tangent,
It doesn't help at all,
does
but
not help at
still,
all, no, but
good to know.
who are we linking? Okay, to Kevin Bacon, yeah, obviously. Jesus. I'm like, wait, who are we linking Elijah Wood to?
Yes. Elijah Wood. So thirsty.
How many of these I have to do because I'm terrible at them?
Ah.
You had what, five or six? I am so bad at these, it would take an entire episode.
You're like, we'll take the whole hour.
It seriously will. I am absolute junk at 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon.
We'll do one more after Elijah.
All right.
And I'll tell you who else I had, and we can just laugh.
Yeah.
And it literally just erased all my things.
Uh,
Can you name other Elijah Wood movies? I can help you what he's
I
in.
mean, other than Lord of the Rings, Cooties. Um,
Sean Bean's in everything, though. Sean Bean's in Lord of the Rings. What else is Sean Bean in?
I mean, Viggo Mortensen's in there, Sean Bean, Ian McKellen, Christopher Lee, for Christ's sake. A lot of people are dead now. Um,
Yeah, that is
over
very true.
28 years. Um, Just Sean Astin. Like I know the cast. I've got to. I'm gonna just sit here all. I'm too terrible
Okay.
at this. I can't. I'm sorry. I just cannot do it.
That's okay. That's okay.
Unless I can think of
So
someone who I can do like 2 degrees. That's about it.
so I had Elijah Wood to Joan Allen in The Ice Storm, which is a movie that
Okay.
also is from long ago. Christina Ricci's in it,
Joan
so
Allen gets
is
us where?
Joan Allen, and so is what's his name, who's married to the girl in the red bikini, uh,
What red?
Kevin Kline. Kevin Kline. He's in The Ice Storm.
Wait,
Anyways,
what red bikini? What are we talking about?
who's the girl in the movie with the red bikini? She comes out of the pool. She was in one movie. She had a red bikini on, and
Oh,
she
are
was
we talking Fast Times at Ridgemont
yeah.
High? Oh,
What's
okay.
her name?
That's
That's his wife, but I don't
what's her name?
know her name.
She's in more
Anyways,
than that. She's not much more, but
it's in Gremlins. Is that the same woman?
I think so. What the hell's her name?
I don't know.
Okay,
Anyways, so
go. Joan
Elijah
Allen.
Wood to Joan Allen in blah blah blah. What's that called? Ice Storm, and then Joan Allen to my favorite, Christian Slater in The
Yeah, it's Phoebe
Contender,
Cates.
Phoebe Cates. And then the thing is here, Christian Slater is in a movie with Kevin Bacon called Murder in the First, and I can connect every single actor on earth to
Okay,
Christian Slater because
but
I
yes,
also
that
had
is Phoebe Cates in Gremlins.
yes. Oh, it is. Okay. Because
Hmm.
I also had Gina Gershon, of course, on my list. And of course, we can go Gina Gershon to Nick Cage in Face Off, Nick Cage to Elizabeth Shue in Leaving Las
In
Vegas,
Las
Elizabeth
Vegas.
Shue to Nick Cage in Hollow Man. Isn't that one of the ones that he shows
Y-
his penis? He's very
yes.
penis proud. That was
Well,
his penis
I
time
mean, it's a CG penis, but because
in the
his
shower.
epidermis is invisible at the time,
Yeah.
so you just see the veiny musculature underneath.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's Kevin Bacon. I'm like, where are we going from there? It's like nowhere. That's Kevin Bacon, dummy.
Yeah. Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
I
Jeez.
had, I had Selma Hayek on here. Selma Hayek was to, this one was quick, to what's his name? Ryan Reynolds in The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Okay. Haven't
And
seen. Would
then
like to see that. It looks like it might
it's
be fun.
fun, brother. It's fun. And then Selma Hayek to and then Ryan Reynolds was in R.A.P.D. That really terrible, terrible, terrible,
Oh
terrible,
yeah.
terrible, 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 terrible,
I
terrible
didn't
movie.
see it.
Don't need to. Kevin Bacon was in that. He
Oh,
was a
was he?
corrupt
Who
copy.
did he play against in that movie? Who was the other guy? Was it like Chris Christopherson or something? Who the hell
Oh,
was he?
the one who's not the Bridges, Jeff.
Oh, Jeff Bridges. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I wanted to say
Another guy who
Brolin, but
did
it
a
wasn't Josh.
very
What was the one that Josh Brolin did? He did the
Jonah Hex, I think.
yes, I'm like the one that was like R.I.P.D. only wasn't Jonah Hex.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one's actually on my superhero movies I need to see at some
Ooh.
point.
Who's he against in Jonah Hex? Who's the other person in
Oh, I
Jonah
have no
Hex?
idea who else is in that movie. I don't even remember the trailer
Oh,
for that film.
what Van Helsing.
Etrigan or something? I don't know.
There was a what because I was like there was another Van Helsing that one had Hugh Jackman in it. I remember when that came out, I was really
Oh yeah,
looking
yeah,
forward to
yeah.
it,
That was
and that was a
like
terrible,
2007 or something like that, right?
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
know a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of people I know a lot of people who think it's garbage. I know a lot of people are like it's actually pretty cool. So, I don't know. I've never
Yeah.
seen it.
And then and then I had the hot Dev Patel who was in Lion with what's her face Nicole Kidman.
I actually just watched him in Monkey Man, I think it's
We
called.
just watched that
Oh,
too.
okay.
Yes. So Nicole Kidman and Lion, and then Nicole Kidman to Tommy Cruise and Eyes Wide Shut, and then Tommy Cruise to Kevin
Or
Bacon.
the race car one. Which one is that?
Yes.
Thunder, Days of Thunder.
Yep. And then Tommy Cruise to You Can't Handle the Truth.
Oh, A Few Good Men. Yeah.
Yep, there you go. So those are my
My sister and when we'd be on drives, long drives, like if we were driving from Arizona to California, 6 to 8 hour drive, sometimes we'd play games like 6 Degrees, Seven, and Kelly is insanely good at this.
Yes.
You can pick any two actors and she'll figure it out like within a couple of minutes, if not like under a minute. She'll like, oh
It's
well, let's see, this person to this person to this person, and then Kevin Bacon. I'm like, unless they're in the same movie together, I'm
yeah.
probably not gonna get it. Anyway,
It's it's a very fun game for
it's fun for you. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm just too terrible. I guess it just takes a certain type of brain, and I just don't have that. My brain just does not connect those dots like that.
It's you have to decide. I think that the biggest thing about playing that game is the decision. You just have to start and just you have to make a decision and just go
Just
down a
pick
route
somebody and
and
then go down a road and
go
see where
down
you
the
can
road.
get to
You
from
just
there.
have to go
Hmm.
because the and I think that that's the thing that gets most people is that
I'm
it's
trying to. I'm standing way out here trying to map the entire thing. You
hmm
start at a point, you're like, all right, I've got all these paths. Let's go here and see where we get.
Yeah, and you're just like, you know what, this is where I'm gonna go, and I'm just gonna take her,
Yeah.
because and I'm like, I go and I'm like, I know a lot about Joan Allen. I'm gonna go Ice Storm. Boom. I know a lot, it's just one of those things that you make a decision real quick and you go with it, or else you will be stuck at one for a real long time. Because it's true. You're like, I know so many actors in Lord of the Rings. Which one do I go down? Just go.
Pick one. Yeah.
Just go and figure her out later. So, but yeah, so there you
All
go.
right.
Kevin Bacon. I love his movie career trajectory. Like it's just such a he fascinates me so much because I truly believe that he is such a good like I really think he's a good actor. I really, really do.
It's interesting because the film industry tried to peg him into a certain role, like typecast him in different ways at different points in his career, and nothing
Yes.
ever stuck,
No.
which made him because it started out trying to get him kind of a charming everyman thing in movies like, Footloose and
Yep. Tremors.
before that, was it Mary Sue something or other? Wait, am I thinking of the wrong movie? Someone
Peggy
has
Sue got
having
married.
Peggy Sue? What am I thinking of? I'm probably thinking of a different thing, but that, and then it moved into almost kind of an action hero thing with Tremors and a few others. And then as he got older, they tried to, it's like thriller and then villain, and like nothing ever stuck to typecast him anywhere. But that gave him an incredibly well-rounded career.
It did, but it also kind of made him it there were also times where he was like the straight to video actor for a while because he kind of played like crotchety old like this guy in this movie like the kind of corrupt cop guy because he was always you know the corrupt the corrupt I'm so thirsty I can't even finish
I
sentence.
think I was thinking of Peggy Sue got married. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's because I've got like a Joan Allen on the brain now. But that's Nick Cage and Kathleen Turner, I think.
Okay, I was like I didn't even know he
He's
was
not
in that
in
but I was
that, I
like
don't think. I'm
yeah I
pretty.
thought that was the one
Yeah,
you were
that's
thinking
Nick
of but
Cage.
I
I
don't.
don't know because I think you said Nick Cage and Joan Allen. I had them on the brain. I think that's why I went to that
Oh,
movie
okay.
for some reason. I don't
I was
know.
like, that's the
Anyway,
movie you're thinking of, but I didn't know who was in that. Um,
I don't even remember that movie.
but
Like,
he's just, but yeah, because he was, he's in everything, which is why there's the
mhm.
game.
Yeah.
But he was never a serious actor, but he was never not a serious actor. But he did have some really great roles that were
Mhm.
meaty. He was, I think he was nominated for an award here and there. Not really.
Was he like up for like supporting for Few Good Men or anything like that?
I don't know if he was, I
I'm
know
pretty
that.
sure Nicholson was.
Oh, heck yeah. He was up for like The River Wild, I think he got with Meryl
Yeah, he was
Streep
the
because
heavy in that. That
he was
was
the heavy in
Streep.
that.
That was Meryl Streep in that one.
Streep, him, and I forget the other dude.
Wasn't that a remake of something else? Wasn't River Wild like a remake of? Now I'm curious.
I don't require, I don't recall, I can't speak tonight. I don't recall that,
He was
but
good.
I do remember, but I loved him in the Christian Slater movie, Murder in the First.
Mhm.
Absolutely loved him in that. And I was like, oh, he's so good. Um, but he's, he's is and isn't a punchline. Like it's like everyone knows him, but no one can, it's such a weird, but you know what? No one doesn't like him. It's like Kevin Bacon. It's like you might laugh, you might smile, but like there's no hate there. No one hates the man. And I'm like, well, you've done yourself good at least. But like, I just, what a weird trajectory he's had. But he's never not worked. And you know what? I'm fascinated by him. Fascinated.
You, you know what I might be thinking of? There's an earlier film called Whitewater Summer, which Kevin Bacon is in, playing the villain in a movie about whitewater rafting. I don't think it's a remake. I think it's just kind of a similar
He
premise.
just, that's hilarious.
I hate whitewater rafters. Screw those people.
He's like, will you stop getting in my
If there's
water?
yellow rubber floaty things, hate.
I'm allergic to latex. Stop. Um, that's really funny. But yeah, so Kevin Bacon, man, gotta love him. Gotta love him. So
Named after
10-year-old.
America's favorite breakfast food, too. So,
Yeah, after the smell of America, if you could make America into a candle, that's what it would smell like. Kevin
bacon.
Bacon.
I'm amazed that you go to the grocery store and you get the air freshener thing. It's always apple, cinnamon, and uh, potpourri and stuff like that. It's never just bacon fat. You know?
Yeah, Grease.
Just bacon, fried bacon grease. Yeah.
Crisco. I want a Crisco
Lard.
candle. Yeah, right. Um, so Cop Car.
Mm.
How was this even a theatrical release this year?
I believe it did get a theatrical release.
Good for
Wasn't
it.
a huge release. But I remember when it came out back in 2015. I have the page up. Hang on a second.
15, I think.
2015, yeah.
And Cameron Manheim, that's a face and name that I hadn't remembered for like years.
Oh, the
Like,
lady?
yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, I remembered she was on things for a
Yeah,
minute. And
character actor, yeah. You
yeah,
see her all over the place. You're like that lady. I've seen her all over the place. Yeah.
she
I
did
couldn't name
she
a single other thing she's in, but yeah.
she did a lot of TV shows and yeah, she did a lot of pop-ups for a bit. She was like, we need the every woman.
If you want
Get
something
her.
like really weird, go look up the kids in this movie, their IMDb pages, because they have profiles of what they look like now that they're in their 20s. It's really weird looking.
Oh no. Oh boy. Okay, let
Oh
me
no, they're handsome young men, but they're not 12 anymore.
sure.
They're 21, 22 or whatever.
Let's see. Where are these? Chillins.
You
Oh,
know, one of them looks like he plays
Harrison and
football
Travis.
now.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Hayes Welford.
Yep.
What's the other child's name? James.
James Friedson Jackson.
He looks like he's cold. Put on something else. Sorry. Um, yeah, no, so the movie,
Hmm.
I it was a very stressful movie, but not for the ways that I think that you would want
It
it to be
was a
stressful.
lot different than I thought it was going to be. For example, the focus is not so much on the kids as I thought it would be, but it's on Kevin Bacon's character, the villainous cop. The kids are more a MacGuffin than anything else. It's more about a cop, a crooked cop who is doing a crooked thing and runs into a spate of incredible bad luck in the form of two dipshit 10-year-olds.
Incredibly bad.
So get this. So we have a corrupt cop. He's just going to dump a body out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
All right. So he drives his cop car, the titular cop car, out into the middle of nowhere. Just barbed wire fences and cows as far as the eye can see. It's just out in the open plains of Colorado somewhere. Um, and so he drags a body out of the trunk and then drags it off into the woods to a like a an old storm drain or something like that, and dumps the body down a hole, dumps some lye on top of it, walks back, and the car is gone because two kids, two 10, 12-year-olds, just happened to cross his car in the middle of nowhere because they're running away from home.
Right, right,
They're just out walking and they stumble upon his car and decide to just get in and drive it away. The odds that that would happen are like almost zero,
right.
but you think the movie is going to be about, or I thought the movie was going to be about two kids who go on an adventure, find what they think's just an abandoned cop car, and go on a joyride and found out that they borrowed the
The
wrong
wrong
cop's
man's
cop
car.
car.
Yeah, exactly,
That's
exactly.
not what this movie is. This movie
No.
is about a crooked cop who just lost his cop card because two kids stole it. And it's really about him trying to get it back before he's discovered.
And there's
It's,
still a body in the
and there's
trunk
still a body in the trunk
who isn't dead, by
who
the
ain't
way.
dead.
Yeah. But the thing that I find very interesting, and I want to be clear, not good, interesting, not bad, interesting.
Mhm.
It's a choice that was made. I am unclear if it was a choice because they're like, I just have no clue, or if it was a choice because let's artistically, let's put it that way. This is completely, I'm just going to plop you in and take you out of this setting. As in, we don't know anything why these kids ran away, quote unquote. Like
Mhm.
they say, like at the beginning of the film, they're like, "How far do you think we've come?" And they're like, "Oh, 50
50
miles." Let's
miles.
let's be clear. They have not.
No,
My guess, if you had to guess, they walked away earlier that morning. If you had to guess, their parents probably think they're just playing that day. My guess is like,
they've done this before.
yeah, there's who, because the one has a Slim Jim in his pocket. They're ill prepared for this. It's whatever. So
Mhm.
you don't know much about them, and you never do. You never really learn about them. There's obviously an alpha, there's obviously a beta, but you don't know anything really about them. You also don't know anything about Kevin Bacon's character. You don't know what he really is into, how long he's been
Yeah,
into this.
you don't.
Has Is this the
He's
first
into a
body
bunch of
he's
shit, but
yeah,
it's
is
not
this the
clear
first
what.
body he's disposed of? Like, is this an
Clearly,
old
well, it's
dumping
clearly not.
ground?
This
Like,
seems
yeah,
to this seems to be a
but like,
thing for him.
and then the guy that is in the trunk, he's clearly not the greatest dude, anyways. So,
No,
like, he's obviously not like a Dexter type bad guy who is, killing bad guys only. Like, he's obviously a bad cop, but like, who are these people so like you don't really know anything. You know that sadly the woman character is a dumbass, sadly, because which is unfortunate that like there's one other character and she just gets the short end of every stick. But
yeah,
like and then it just takes it like so it's like you don't
like you really want me to search for your car because the door is open.
yeah,
But
this is
it's
kind of
standing
weird.
open. I
And
don't
like
think I need to go search for the keys. You can just I can just crawl inside and open the door.
yeah, this is kind of strange. But like it's just an interesting like sort of it just plops you into a thing. And it is interesting. Like I didn't say it was good or bad. It is just a we don't you don't need to know. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. It is a short movie. I
Yeah, it's
can't
like
say
85 minutes, and I'm glad it is because there's
yeah,
not enough there to support much longer than that.
no, and there did seem to be moments like that I felt could have even been trimmed. And maybe it's because we didn't know more about people that I was like, they were like when the boys let the man out of the trunk,
Mhm.
and then that entire scene of the boys are locked in the back of the car, and the man is trying to find a place to hide when Kevin Bacon is going to be approaching at some point. I'm like, I get the conceit, guys.
I
I
think it
get
was
it.
just supposed to be really funny, and it's just,
It just kept going and kept going
yeah,
and kept going. But it wasn't one of those, and then it got funny again because it didn't.
no.
I was like, "Mm, okay, I get it. Can we get Kevin Bacon here
It's
now?"
not funny. It just kind of makes you mad. You're like, pick a spot.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, were we trying to hit a certain time? Did we just need to add, did we need to buffer this movie?
We contractually had to hit 85 minutes.
I'm like, whoa, guys,
It's
this
like,
is
Shay, we're only at 83 and a half. You got to dick around another minute, another 90 seconds, please.
like, but I already found a really good hiding space.
Find
Move
another
those
one.
two by fours, okay. But yeah, those planks of wood. All right. Um, but yeah, I will say though, I do agree it did focus on him, but I will say there was some very interesting kid logic, which I did find fun. That even though it did focus a lot on him, there was some very fun, like, well, what if someone stops us? We'll just tell them we're cops. Oh, that's a good idea. Like, just
The
there's some
kids,
very
you
kid
know what?
logic in
The
there.
kids, the young actors, really good,
Yeah,
really good naturalistic delivery. I bought them both as believable characters. They weren't like annoying or painful to watch. Good young actors.
yeah,
John Watts got some great performances out of them.
yeah.
Um, Most of their dumb kid stuff I thought was charming. Especially stuff where they first run across
The
the
snake
cop car.
hole.
It's like
Oh,
the cop car, and they're like, "Hey, I dare you to go touch the car." And it's like, "No,
yeah.
man. All right, but okay, I'll touch it, but then you have to touch it." It's like, "Okay, fine." And then he runs up and he touches the car, and then he runs back like the car's gonna do something. It's like, "All right, that's totally something kids
Oh,
do.
yeah.
Doesn't make any
100%.
sense.
Makes no
That
sense,
kind
but
of
it's
stuff is
perfect.
fine, but okay, let me ask you this. Do you think that any of your three kids um, would not recognize defibrillator paddles as those things that doctors use on TV to electrocute people back to life?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that because here's the thing. Like,
Well, to give a little context, the kids are playing with the stuff that they
yeah,
found in the cop car, and one of the things is a portable, an AED, a portable, well, it's not an AED, it's actually a portable defibrillator.
yeah.
And he has no idea what it is. I'm like, do you not watch TV like at all?
Yeah, I honestly don't think Miles would know what it is.
Well, Miles
I
is like 6, right?
incorrect, almost 10.
Oh,
Um
shows mine. Okay.
it's okay. Um and that's he's our youngest.
Hmm.
I think here's the thing. I think with kids,
Don't look down on me, listeners. Not actually my nephew.
well, also
Her
you've not
boyfriend's kids. I don't know how old they are.
it's also you've not met them.
Yeah.
You're in another state. It's really okay. Like, do not look down. It's not a big deal. So our kids are there is a thing about kids when it's out of context, what you still have that at this
Hmm.
age. You know,
Okay.
at this age, something at it like if you're in a hospital, you might think it makes more sense there. Like I still remember, like he's only in fourth grade. You know, you're looking at these 10-year-olds, that is still only a fourth grade mentality where you see your teacher at the grocery store, you're like, wow, like don't you shut down at night? You know, you're not supposed to see their
Hmm.
kneecaps.
So if you
It
see
is
it outside of like a
and a
ambulance or hospital
portable
setting, it's
one
just I don't know
and
what
a
that is.
portable one and stuff. And it's also, those we don't have um
An AED in the house.
well not just that, but I was trying to think like, cop shows and stuff like, I mean, Grossmutter and stuff. I mean, we would watch, like ER was on, like, but those aren't shows and stuff anymore. Like, Law and Order and ER and Grey's Anatomy and
Well,
all
no,
those,
but lots
those
of
aren't things that
movies.
are on in the background. We don't have, like, I can't think of the last movie that we watched with our kids that had like
Someone
some
getting shot or
defibrillation.
going
Yeah,
to
like,
a hospital and clear
so
thump. I'm
like
like,
that one
sure.
I can kind of like it is true. There are some things that I'm like, how do you not know what this is? But I
Okay, well,
mean like
here's another one.
but
These two kids have absolutely
the
no
guns,
concept of the idea of a safety.
yeah, the guns, let me tell you.
I mean, like, that is a trope in films where the comic relief or the sidekick or the person who's kidnapped and gets and turns the tables and haha, now I've got the gun. It's like, all right, go ahead and shoot me. Yeah, safety's on. It's like that's a trope. I'm watching this film. I'm like, do these kids like have no access to television or
So
movies or internet because they don't know what the clear paddles are and they don't ha now not knowing where the safety is or how to use it. It's a toggle switch on the side. Come on. But not knowing where it is or how to use it or thinking about it at first. But you think like if they're trying to pull the trigger, it's like, did you check the safety? What's that? I don't know. They say that in the movies all the time,
yeah, okay. So I will say
right?
for that I will agree with. As someone who I would say the same. I would be that idiot because I would have to be like, I wouldn't know what a safety looks like. I don't know
The
what a
safety
safety
is
is.
rarely ever gets like an insert shot.
Right.
It's
So I
just
don't,
something that's mentioned, like in Die Hard with a Vengeance, where Sam Jackson is gets the gun and is going to
right.
shoot um voice of Scar. What the fuck's his name? I'm
Jeremy
blanking.
Irons.
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy
Thank you.
Irons.
He's like, "Well, do what you got to do." He's like, "All right." All right. It's like, yeah, it didn't take the safety off and then shoots him in the leg. Yeah, that scene is in a million movies, right? And
Mm-hmm.
there's no
Mm-hmm.
like insert shot of him flipping
Mm-mm.
the safety.
But it's something I should probably figure out.
Right, it's
But so
probably something you'd be able if you had a gun and you're like, I can't pull the trigger, there's probably a safety. You
right. Oh,
probably
here it
wouldn't like
is.
stare straight
And
down the
that's
barrel
the
looking
thing.
for. And also,
We
I could see these kids being very clumsy and unsafe with firearms. I genuinely do not see them trying to eyeball down the barrel or
That part killed
shooting
me.
at each other.
Yeah. That was the part that
I'm
killed
like,
me.
no, I don't believe that. But then again, I don't interact with kids, so.
I
Yeah, if my kids found a bulletproof vest and a gun, they definitely try it out. It's like,
so
here, wear this vest. I'll shoot at you. It's like, yeah, don't hit me in the face. Yeah, okay.
So
Did you do that if
that
you
the
found an apple and a bow and arrow?
okay, so I will now take you through the movie
Right.
of the idiotic things. So that was the most suspenseful part of the movie. Is like every time they did that, I was like, Come on, come on." So there were a lot of parts that I was like, you're laying it on a little thick." Like, I get it. Gun control, gun safety. First off, choir. I'm already in. We need it. I get it. Um, write your congressman. Um, I don't, I would be so surprised if my kids were like, let me look straight down it and like all of that. That's dumb. I would be very surprised if that happened. I would want to clock them if I found out. Um, so like some of the stuff that they were doing, I was like, That's just dumb." If they found if there was a bulletproof vest, two little boys, sadly, I'd say yes, they would shoot at each other with the vest. And that is a very, 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 very sad thing to say because it would absolutely end tragically. But absolutely, they would be like, "Oh, it's a bulletproof vest. We should try it out."
That
And
makes me immortal. Well, just don't shoot me in the face or
exactly.
anywhere
And
else.
it is stupid but it's unfortunate that that is a real thing that I
Yeah.
think would happen. Um, but like all the throwing of the like we were Jeremy and I were watching it last night and like
Well, Kevin
they were
Bacon may have been a crooked cop, but at least he engaged the safety in all of his guns.
oh my God, amen. Yeah, but like they were throwing it and we were like, oh my. And then at the end, when they shot the one, Jeremy goes, "Where'd that ricochet?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, he got hit with a ricochet, didn't he? Like that kind of stuff, that I believed. Them shooting
Yeah.
past each other, not understanding how damn loud a gun
Oh,
discharge is going to be,
yeah.
especially inside a car. That I
Yeah.
totally believe. Being panicking and being unsafe
Yeah.
and grabbing the thing and start beating on the window and throwing the gun at the window,
That's yeah.
that I could totally see.
Yeah.
There were just enough things where I'm like, I have a hard time, and maybe this is my own problem, but I have a hard time believing even children this young are just this broadly ignorant of everything.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
do you kids honestly have no access to streaming services? Or, I mean, this was
anything.
2015, so it would still be like television and the internet and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. It's unfortunate how, yeah, there are some things that I agree that I'm like, okay, a little too much. That never happened. But like
So, what do you think? Does
in,
does the kid die?
oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably. I don't think
Oh,
he's gonna
yeah.
make it.
Well, I'm,
I think the other
I'm,
kid's gonna run into another cow before he gets to the city.
yeah. Well, that's my thing. I'm like, I'm not sure
What's
either of
what's the
them
arc
are
of this character? He
going
finally got over his fear and drove faster
a
than
hundred
60.
miles an hour. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, well, I mean, I was
Like,
like,
is this
well,
the character arc?
because and I love the fact that he's like, he found the lights.
He learned to say the F word and drive faster than 60. Okay.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, and he, problem solved. He's like, I can't figure out where the lights are, so I'll just turn on the siren,
Which they
which is
set up
great. Is
earlier. So,
yeah,
you know,
which
they
is
were
set up earlier, so
and
that was
that
nice.
I can buy because if you're sitting in an unfamiliar car, particularly when it's dark and you don't know where the damn headlights are, it can be difficult to find because they're in radically different spots in different
Yeah,
cars.
yeah,
Sometimes they're on the steering column, sometimes they're on the dash, sometimes it's a pull out kind of thing, sometimes it's a knob. If you don't know where it is and it's dark in the car, you're going to have a hell of a time finding it.
yeah.
It's like
But
trying to find the hood release in the dark if you don't know exactly
oh my
where it
gosh,
is.
yes, especially
So
mine. Mine's
that
where
kind
my
of
feet
stuff,
are.
that I totally buy.
Yeah, I
But
like.
just there was enough stuff where I'm like, come on, the kids cannot possibly be that ignorant of absolutely everything.
Yeah, I was really surprised at how ignorant they were with guns, especially where they were like that. Like, no offense to anything, but like
They
they
live
were
out in the
they were
middle
in the
of nowhere,
country
Colorado.
Colorado. One would think that they probably grew up around guns.
I mean, I can imagine stepdad or whoever is like, you don't touch my guns, and that's like the only gun education they've had, maybe. But again,
Maybe,
I'm still it's hard for me to imagine that
yeah,
cultural osmosis hasn't seeped into at
yeah,
least go, oh, hey, what about the safety? Where are those? I don't
yeah,
know, but that's when gun in movies when guns don't shoot, they're like, oh, check the safety. And
exactly. It's
is it
because
in the
they're just
barrel?
because all they said was like they don't work, and because they were like, oh, they don't work anyways, and they're like, no, they're just yeah,
Just to say,
no. So
it's
I
hard
do
for me
agree
to
with
believe that
you.
you've never heard of a safety, even
Yeah,
if you've had no
I
gun
agree with you
education.
on
That's
that.
that's just so tropey in modern entertainment.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
Don't you
Um,
play Call of Duty?
right, you have to all the little
Although
um
I can't really think of a video game where you have to engage or disengage the safety on a gun, except in like maybe Police Quest or something like a text parser adventure. The old Sierra Quest games.
sure, 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 sure.
I think there was probably like disengage safety enter. Otherwise, you couldn't shoot the suspect
Maybe.
or what's
Shoot the
something
suspect.
like that. You'd end up
Um,
getting a game over if you didn't remember to
yeah. I
safety.
like when they went to
Pardon.
park the car and it went into reverse and they're like, "Oh, okay, so R is go back and P is stop. Got it." And they're
I
like,
did, yeah. I thought it was funny
that
that they
makes
can't
sense.
feel because the car is an automatic, obviously. So if it's idling in drive, it's just going to go forward a bit, and if it's idling in reverse, it's going to go. And they can't figure. They're like, when they switch drivers, they're like, well, it just goes really slow when we're not touching the pedals, so they just get out and run
They
around,
get out and run
which is
around it.
funny. They
It's really funny.
they
It
don't
like
they don't know how to get it to. It's like I need to switch places, but every time I don't hold the brake, the car just goes by itself slowly. So I guess we have to get out and run around. That's
Yep.
fine.
There's some, but and that is fun, and I like
Yeah,
that. And there's like just some funny bits of like kid logic. And the one I said about the snake hole, I thought was very funny too, because they had the
the
sticks and the
sticks, the
snake
walking
hole,
sticks. Yeah,
and they're like, let's leave him in there so that they can't get out. And they like leave the sticks and the snake hole sitting up so that the snakes can't get out. And I'm like, bless your hearts.
Snake's like, oh shit, we're trapped now. Don't don't know what we're gonna do.
That stick in our snake hole.
There's a
But
stick in my snake hole.
there's a
Sounds
snake in my
terrible.
boot. Um, but yeah, and
This
I
is a movie that I was trying really hard not to docket points in my mental review for
mm,
for not being what I thought it was going to be or not
mm,
being what I think might have been better and trying to just judge the movie on what it is because my brain can't help but go, you know
interesting.
what? I think it
Oh,
would have been more interesting if
yep,
they did
yep, yep,
this.
yep.
I try always to evaluate a work on what it
What it
is,
is.
not what I want it to be, or even what maybe it was marketed as.
Yeah, because I will say, because I did watch the preview because I do like to give him the opportunity to say yay or nay of watching it with me.
Hmm.
And I will say that the preview did
Did he
make
yay or
it
nay?
it was a yay.
Oh, okay.
Um and I will say that the preview did make it seem that it was going to be a lot more of I agree with you that I thought that it was kids accidentally stumble upon a car, take for a joyride, wrong guy's car type of it. And that's in kind of so it was their story of
Yeah.
like, uh-oh, what do we do now? Because we're being like trying to, right. It's like almost like what is the one with Candy Cane, Joyride. Is it called Joyride with Paul Walker?
Yeah, and what's the yeah, so is it Lily Sobieski or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
That's the trucker movie, right?
Yeah, the
Where they
trucker
run
movie.
afoul of the wrong trucker.
Yeah, yes.
What's the
And
other guy in that? That
I
I'm gonna have to look it
cannot.
up because that's gonna bother me.
Um,
Jesus, I haven't thought about that movie in a while.
but like
Um,
that kind of a thing
oh,
where
that's wrong Joyride. It's Steve Zahn.
yes, where it's just
Did I have her name right? Yeah, Lily Sobieski.
yeah, Lily. She was in Eyes Wide
I
Shut
haven't
as
seen her
well.
in anything in a while. What's she been doing?
Nothing.
She didn't like die or anything, did she?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't know if she is doing much
Huh,
anymore.
yeah, yeah, she's hasn't done much since like the 2010s.
Yeah.
Yeah, couple TV things, but
Um, but yeah, just something like that, like a that the majority of the movie would be on them and it would almost be like him as like the menacing voice on the radio, kind of like,
hmm.
in Joyride and kind of like the preview. And I enjoyed that. I
And the
thought it
kids
looked
would
very
have to grow up really quick and use all of the resources at their
yeah.
disposal in interesting kid-oriented ways to try and avoid the bad guy cop, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the the authority that they thought they could trust is definitely the one they can't. All kinds of things you could do, and it's
So
just
many
not
things I
that
thought it
movie.
was going to be, and it's not that movie. And you're so you are right that it is hard that the movie that I wanted was not the movie that I got. So there is kind of that moment of like, that's not what I wanted. But the movie that
Yeah.
I got is also, I don't think the movie that I wanted either,
Yeah, it's
to tell you
in
the
my
truth.
mind I'm thinking about imagine if the movie started with Kevin Bacon and pretty much just followed him and you didn't even find out that what happened to the car is two kids just happened upon it and took it until he does. That would have been the funniest damn reveal. Like he's
Yeah.
freaking out about this stuff, and it turns out that two dipshit children just took the car. It's like, okay, that because even when he finds out, he just kind of laughs about it.
Oh
He's like,
yeah.
what in the hell? What are the
Yeah.
odds of something like that
Because this
happening?
because
But there's a lot of
what
really
he
good
goes
stuff. I think
through.
that would be really interesting, but there's also just a lot of really good stuff with the kids that you'd
Hmm.
miss out on. So I don't know.
But it isn't, but it's just they're the problem is it's two different stories. It
Yeah.
truly is just two different stories because following him, it because I did find it very interesting
I
to
found
have
his journey actually really interesting and
his
fascinating. That the way he manipulated his uh position and knowledge of as a sheriff or whatever to get done what he needs to be done. Like he gets pulled over by he steals a car and he gets pulled over, so he calls in something so that the guy will get who pulled him over gets called away. He makes sure that everyone else is on a different channel so that he can talk to the kids. And there's a great bit where he's listening to the radio, everyone turning confirming that they're turning over to channel 7, and you Kevin Bacon's great at this. You can see him operate checking off that mental checklist. It's like, okay, that's car 12. Car it's like we're missing car 17. Car 17 switching. He's like, okay, that's the last one. Great scene. Like a lot of that stuff.
yeah. Yeah, so that now he's free that he can,
Hmm.
but then he just randomly walks into his patio room, breaks a plant, and then comes back out.
Has two dogs too. Doesn't
Yes.
even pet them. Just hello,
No.
but you know.
And breaks a plant and then
And
leaves.
yeah,
And I'm like, you feel good about yourself? You feel good that you broke your plant?
oh, and then he goes back in and flushes a bunch of cocaine down the toilet, which is like, oh, so boy, he's into some stuff.
He is he not great. He not doing okay. And like putting it in his, he's like, gotta get some last
We're
minute.
all paying this asshole's salary.
Yeah. Yeah. And he ran a long way to
Yes.
wherever he was running. Because my
Well, because
God.
he drove out to the middle of goddamn nowhere. It's probably several miles at least.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And in those shoes, oh,
Mm.
because he gonna have
Oh, but
blisters.
he hurdled that barbed wire fence like a champ though.
Yeah, I did.
I was like that that
Good for
that's
you,
that's
sir.
that's
Good for
mounting
you. Yeah.
barbed wire with some gumption right there.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Galdern.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Death by
But
cow though.
but yeah, it would and
It's
death
cow.
by and probably with cow. Like
Yeah, Cow probably didn't survive. Yeah, guy in the trunk didn't survive. Cameron Manheim didn't survive.
just the
Kevin
one
Bacon's probably dead. Cow's probably dead. One of the kids probably dead. Other kid probably hits another cow on the way back,
or
or a brick
anything
wall, or
else.
another car,
Or
something.
like that's the thing. He's going real fast. He's getting into town though. The
He at
only
least was pointed in the correct direction.
the only saving grace that you can possibly think for him is that like town is close. Dispatch is calling him going, "Hey, there's a car." And like so he may ease off like even though his friend is like, "Yo, take me home." Like friend's about to death. Like death is imminent on friend over there. So like he might not want to take his hand, his foot off the accelerator, but like
Mhm. At some point,
I'd like to think
if he
that
doesn't
he
run off
just
the road or hit a cow, at some point he's going to get into the city and not know how to take a corner or deal with other traffic, and he's just going to hit another car, building, or tree or something.
yeah, or they're
Or
gonna talk him into stop.
he's going to get
Like
overwhelmed and stop. Yeah.
yeah. I'm hoping that it's one of those. I'm hoping that whoever's on the line, like he talks to them and they're like, honey, you're like, we're coming out for you.
Yeah, we know where you are.
Stop,
Just
baby.
stop so you don't hit a cow.
Yeah, like leave the wildlife alone. You've done enough damage, and it's not your fault, other than the fact that you guys really suck with guns. Like, let's maybe not next
Your
time.
stepdad's gonna tan your ass
Oh
though.
my God. Oh
Or
my
no, wait, the
God.
other kid had the stepdad. He lived with his
Yes.
grandma, I
He
think.
lives with his grandmother and a guinea pig.
That's right,
Like,
that's right. He had grandma and the guinea pig.
him and the guinea pig.
That
Like,
grandma probably won't say anything, but that guinea pig is going to be very disappointed in you.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's gonna leave you a nice stinky deuce. Like,
Mr. Tittles is going to be like, I don't even think I want to eat anything you feed me.
like,
I don't
just
I don't think those pellets are premium enough.
I'm not in a cuddly mood.
Mm.
No. Absolutely not.
Replace my sawdust or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
So a cop
So
car. It was all
yeah,
right. Yeah.
there you go. Cop car.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got to enjoy more kids movies, but not that one. So, what are you mandating?
So yeah, the quintessential kid movie that I've never seen. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you have, but that's not my problem. So uh
Right.
Stand By Me.
Okay, yeah. I pretty sure I've seen it, but oh golly, it's been a long time.
Yeah. I I haven't, which is dumb. Time to see it.
Oh, won't you stand by me longer? No, that's Stay. Is that Neil Sedaka? I think so. Uh, have I read Stand? But I don't. That's a King book.
Yeah, The Body, right?
Hmm?
The Body. It's just a short story.
I don't. Yeah, I honestly don't remember if I read it or not. I'm pretty sure I've seen the movie, but it may be a case of I watch and I go, no, I'm just super familiar with the film because
That's
it's got a bunch of Kiefer Sutherland, Corey Feldman,
River Phoenix.
River Phoenix, yeah,
Jerry O'Connell.
is he in that?
Yeah. Little
Oh yeah,
he's
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Richard Dreyfuss, right?
yeah. Oh, won't you stand by me? That's not what it is. 1986. Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Jerry
Oh
O'Connell,
yeah.
Corey Feldman, sorry, Kiefer Sutherland, Bradley Gregg, Bruce Kirby, Scott Beach, William Bonner. Oh yeah, Richard Dreyfuss. Oh right. Yeah, that's right. Oh, John Cusack's in it too. Cusack. Right. Okay. Yeah. Like I'm looking at some screenshots and I'm like, oh right, it's the bit with the train. Yeah. I'm wondering if I've just seen parts of this movie or if I've just kind of absorbed the film because it came out when we were kids. Um, yeah. Hmm.
I've never seen it, so here you
Okay.
go. All right. Well,
I'm pretty sure I have, but if I have, I've not seen it in like 30 years at
yeah.
least.
Or it might be one of those that it's like, because I've seen movies, there are some that,
Didn't I have the same problem with like 2001: A Space Odyssey? I'm like,
yes,
I don't know if I've seen
it's
this or not. I'm
it's
like
one of
so
those that's like
familiar with.
I've seen it. I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but just out of order because it's like,
Like I've caught bits and pieces
I've
of it
caught
on
it here and there, and
I've
I'm
caught so much of the movie on cable over the years that
yep,
yeah.
that I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Just now I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
So there you
Except
go.
when I caught Stand By Me, I always saw different scenes, but when I watched The English Patient, it was always the scene where they're naked in the bathtub.
Because
I don't know
apparently
how
that's the
it,
movie.
I don't know if there's multiple scenes of them naked in a bathtub or if I just always happen to land on that scene. The movie's like 3 hours long. How am I ending up on the same scene every time?
I don't know.
Maybe it's just a movie about two naked people in a bathtub. That's just
I
most of the movie.
I don't know. I never saw it
Talk about a
because
one location film. They're
yeah,
really pruny by the end.
they're like, it's gonna be real easy to recoup the
The
money on this,
actors
guys.
hated it. They're like, oh, my pruny little fingers.
I was all shriveled up by the end.
That's like, this movie's a oneer. We're just gonna do the whole thing in one.
They're like, Like, that's a wrap.
Yeah, the male actor's like, I thought it was all shrivelly before, but damn.
Oh boy. Woo.
We have fun here. Okay, Stand By Me. All right, well, today's episode may have come to an end, but it's not Best Buds month. That was last
No,
time. We
no,
didn't finish that
that's
part of the
done.
script.
That
Oh,
is
shame
done.
on me. Kids, not that
That one.
one. I'm not editing this. This is all staying in. Today's episode, it may have come to an end, but kids, no, not that one. Month continues next time with Kelly's mandated movie, Stand By Me. If you'd like to watch it too, check out the description to see where it's currently streaming or available to rent. Until then, you can watch Movie Mandates on YouTube or listen to it in podcast form on iTunes. And if you enjoy the show and want to help us reach a wider audience, comment and like and engage. Engage!
Engage.
So,
Where that came from.
we'd be much obliged. And with that, I'm Andrew. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Andrew Eisen.
I'm Kelly on Instagram, Pimento Livia. Just the one O in the middle.
We hope you've all enjoyed this episode of Movie Mandates and every single one that came before it.
I was gonna say just this one though.
Just
Hated
this
all
one.
the
The other
others.
ones, you can hate with impunity, but
They're
this
all
one,
rubbish. But
please
this one.
like. Anyway, we'll be back soon with another mandated movie. Bye, everyone.